Hello, hello, hello. Come in, come in, come in. We are glad to have you here once again today. We ask you to hit that like button and, if you will, subscribe if you haven't already, and spread the word that we're out here with hard-hitting information that you need to know on today's current event. On today's current event, we are looking at the Education, Department of Education, and it is in the crosshairs of the Trump administration, and what it will mean for student loans, what it will mean for education. You know, I thought about this and I said, why would they want to do away with the Department of Education, the department that educates our children all across this country? And certainly the states do not have the money necessary to run schools. They just don't. And so that is just, I'm just curious as to how that's going to work out. But the one that really stumps me is the student loans, where a lot of us get the opportunity to go to school through the Pell Grant or the student loan, and there will be millions, hundreds of thousands that will not be able to go to school because the money will not be there. So this, to me, just my opinion, and you guys can have yours. That's why we always ask the questions to you. It just says dumb down. It just that is what's coming to my mind, is the dumbing down of our society. And let me tell you something about that. When you dumb down your society, you are looking to control. You're looking to keep them from being informed, to keep them from knowing. Because when people know, you can't pull the wool over their eyes. So, but it's sad, and it's also one of the signs that say this great superpower is headed down. We're seeing too many things that they're doing, and it makes you just shake your head like, what in the heebie-jeebies? You know, and this one here really makes me say, what in the heebie-jeebies? Because why would you do this to yourself? You know, we always present ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with it, we always present ourselves as a leader, as we lead in technology, we lead in science, we lead in sports galore, we lead in just about aviation, you name it. We always tell the world we're the leader in that, and we're going to stay the leader is what we say. But fortunately, I don't see how you stay the leader when you disband your Department of Education. It just, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Blue Ray, whatever you are, surely we can agree that we should educate our children. That is probably the one thing that we should not disagree on. But, you know, as sad as it is, there are people out there that don't think that we should be educating our children. And they are the leaders, the next leaders of this country. And you want the next leaders of this country to be intelligent, to be smart, to be observant, to have a good chain of thought. You want them to be well-rounded, well-spoken. All that rolled up into one. You want all that. That leads for a person who can be an executive, a CEO, even the president. And it just really bothers me that President Donald Trump has the education department in his sights for downsizing or even demolition. The White House is preparing an executive order that would seek to shut down some functions and dissolve the department, according to the Wall Street Journal and other reports. Trump said that this week that he wants to pick for Education Secretary Linda McMahon, who is the wife of Mr. McMahon of the Wrestling Federation. Pick her out for the job. And so you want to bring Ms. McMahon in to basically dissolve and get rid of the Department of Education. I would say to Ms. McMahon, do you really want to be known for the person who dissolved the Department of Education? Do you really want to have your name acquainted with the person who decided that it was okay to not be able for our children to go to college, to go to higher learning because there's no money there? Because some of the biggest states, which are going to be the red states, they are definitely not going to have the money. And not only will they not have the money, they won't even have the money to run those schools. So who's going to help them? You know, I see this as being very destructive, and the repercussions are going to be great. We as Americans have got to realize we are all Americans. We cannot fight in a field where we fight like we're enemies. We're not. We got to get that psyche out of our mind. We're not enemies. We are all Americans, and what we should be doing is trying to figure out what's the best path forward for everybody, especially our children. Our children should not even be argument. We should agree that all of our kids should be smart, intelligent, should be well-rounded, you know, because these are the leaders of tomorrow. And so it's just really baffling to me to see that they want to do away with the Department of Education. Oh, that is so sad. The Department of Education and Trump's site should come as no surprise, because he said many times before that he was looking to eliminate the Department of Education. This was a Republican goal, and one that Trump repeated on the campaign trail repeatedly, and he did. And but you cannot just shut this down without congressional approval, because it was started up with congressional approval. So he may not be able to shut the Department of Education completely down. He would need the Congress and the Senate to sign off on that. So what I'm thinking is he'll shut it down as far as he can take it, you know, and it won't be a complete shutdown, but it won't be doing much of nothing. And my heart just feels so low today doing this show, because this is going to hurt our children. Our children are being put in fights, political fights, with their education on the line. Just think about that for a minute. We are not going to educate our children. When you do away with the Board of Education, where the money going to come from to keep these schools at a level that they need to be? Where the money going to come from when we see the dilapidation of a lot of these schools? The teachers, you know, a lot of the teachers are leaving because the pay is horrible. And now you want to do away with the Department of Education? That just spells bad for the country. I love this country. We all do. But it's shocking me at some of the things that we're doing to the country. And at what point do we stand back as American citizens and say, what in the hell is going on? They look like they are taking a sledgehammer to the things that work, to the things that we need the government to function for. The government does have some responsibility, and one of them should be education. Anytime that your government wants to dumb you down for whatever reason, and there can be many reasons that they do this. Some of it is evil, you know, but it ain't good. People, no good can come of this. Trump and Doge have so far shown a restraint in attempting to revamp and dismantle the department agency. The U.S. Agency for International Development has been thrown into the turmoil by Doge. Efforts to fire thousands of employees and freeze the agency's more than $40 billion in funds. People, you know daggone well these red states don't got nowhere near $40 billion. So we know those schools are not going to run it. They're not going to run property. Just here where I live, they just did a tax levy. If your house is $100,000, another $100, $200,000, $200. That hurts when you have to take on another $200 just in taxation to help support the schools. But then you see something like this, and you're like, it's just the money in, money out, but we don't see any good results. You know, but I tell you, what do you think? I'm posing the question to you because you're the American people. Should we do away with the Department of Education? I think not. I think that the Department of Education has worked all these many years. It has served its purpose. And I was saying, if it ain't broke, why the hell are we trying to fix it? And so I would say to you, you need to speak to your representatives, your House of Representatives. You need to speak to your senators, and you need to speak on the local level as well. You know, because things start on the local level. A lot of this stuff will start on the local level, and so we need to speak to these people and say, hey, we cannot do without the Department of Education. It serves a great need, a great purpose. There's no reason to hurt our children like this, to hurt our country. And I just wanted to point that out, give some pointers to how the Department of Education has kept us at a consistency. Now, has it been perfect? No, nothing's perfect. Always something has improvement, but certainly we can sit down and talk about how can we improve it, as opposed to how we throw it away. And then look at what that will do for us in the world, in the standings of the world. We're already down like 50, 60. We've not been at the top for a very long time. Some people don't even know that. But how much further will we fall behind? So these are questions that I want to put before you, because a lot of you are parents, a lot of you, you're concerned, and so you need to think about this, and not only think about it, but get involved. This is a time to get involved. This is not a time to bury your head in the sand and say, oh, I don't want to be bothered with that stuff. This is a time to get involved, if for no other reason, your children. Your children, Let me just take a peep at this. Trump and other Republicans have argued that some education department functions, such as the administrative, is 1.7 trillion federal student loan programs should be moved elsewhere. The Treasury Department could take on the loan administration. If you put it over there, they're probably going to play around with it, and you'll have to go through papers, and they'll make you jump through so many loops and hoops. You'll say, "Forget this crap. I got to go through all that. It's not. The people just won't do it." And that may be the outcome that they're looking for, is to just make it frustrating to people that they won't even apply. And therefore, that's the problem. We will have a lot of people who are brightest and our people who want to be intelligent to help play a role in keeping America strong, keeping America as a cutting edge in technology, keeping America strong as the cutting edge of the lithium batteries and windmills and all of the new energy that we are getting from solar. And we want to be number one in that. We want to produce that. But it takes education, it takes teaching, it takes knowing what is needed for our peoples to get those jobs and to flourish with them jobs. Those would be good paying jobs. So we cannot afford to let this happen. Get involved. Put your 2 cents in. It counts. Believe me when I tell you it counts. Until the next time, will you hit that like button? Will you subscribe to us? We'll be back with something much more exciting, something to make you think about, and an answer. Sometimes we give it, sometimes